What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the show. Yes. yes. Okay. So this video is going to be about like spending time with God and those who actually make excuses for spending time with God. Because I actually got convicted this past Friday, because I remember back in 2020 whenever I really said to myself, hey, I think I need to start reading my Bible for myself instead of relying on a preacher, because I think that some of these people are lying to me anyways, and they're leaving information out that is very volatile, very critical, and something that's imperative that I need to read for myself. So this is whenever I grew the closest with God, whenever I started reading it for myself. I'm like, wow, I didn't know that was in there. Right? And then because everything shut down, everything locked down, everything shut down, so there was like, I had nothing but time to spend with him, right? And it was, honestly, it was one of the best times of my life. Even though the world was going crazy, it was actually, for me, the best time of my life, because I actually got to see God's character for who he was. You know what I mean? I was like, wow, this is very interesting. And I believe, as people in America, most, if not all of us, we take our religious freedoms, we don't take it very seriously. There are people out in the world who actually have underground churches because they can't worship God out in open like we can. I can go to Barnes and Nobles right now and get a Bible and be like, hey, how you doing? Can I get this Bible? Oh, okay, thanks. And I'm out. Thanks for the Bible. I'm out. Or I can go to Amazon or wherever. I can get a Bible fairly easy, rather than people in other countries that have to go literally worship God underground. Those are the real Christians, by the way. Just throw that in there. And the fake ones, ironically, they're the ones that's in the church right now. Some of them. Not all of them. I would say majority of them, especially now, because they're not standing up for God. They're not standing up for righteousness. They're actually getting bent over by the government, and the government is telling them what to do, but they can't stand up for God. I mean, they use it as a tax write-off. 501c3. Okay, do your own research and do your own due diligence. Not a lot of people know about that. They prohibit some of these churches from talking about certain things because they're under the tax code of 501c3. Not a lot of y'all knew that. I didn't know that either until a couple years ago. Anyway, I digress. Whenever it's time to like listen to music, whenever it's time to like watch your favorite TV show, whenever it's time to get jiggy, do the crate challenge, do any of these new dances or TikTok challenges that is out there, people seem to have all the time in the world for that. But whenever it's time to like read their Bible, spend time, any sort of modicum time with God, it's like non-existent in their lives. And the crazy thing is, they claim themselves to be Christians. They claim themselves to love God. It's just like, dang. And like I said, I got convicted of this heavy on Friday because I haven't been reading it like I'm supposed to, but I still read it. And there's no excuse to be like, man, I don't have time. I'm too tired. I do X, Y, and Z. Okay, how about on your commute to work? You telling me you can't go to YouTube, type in whatever book of the Bible, Hebrews, Psalms, Jeremiah, Isaiah, and just listen to it audibly? It is so incredible, of like, especially the technology that we have right now, even though some of it's used for evil. That's neither here nor there. But the technology that we have right now, we could actually use it for good. And people have to scramble to get Bibles and texts. And we have it very accessible to us. So I honestly feel no sort of empathy towards anyone, especially in America, that says, I don't have time to read my Bible, unless you are in a very particular situation. Because I would say majority of people, I would say about 80% of people, you have time. You have time. Let's just say I'm debating with somebody and they're saying, I don't have time. I'm going to dissect your life, and I'm be like, okay, what do you do whenever you wake up or whatever? Because if you have time for entertainment, you definitely have time for God. I'm speaking for myself too. But yo, there's no excuse. Because like I said, whenever it's time to get jiggy, whenever it's time to do the crate challenge, Whenever it's time to watch a new episode or whatever, watch a new movie, say, oh, I'm bored, time to walk around the park, that's a perfect time to, just audibly listen to the Bible if, can't read and walk at the same time. There's just no excuse. And a lot of us, we come up with excuses. We like to point the finger at other people instead of point the finger directly at us, because it's our fault in some things. Whenever turmoil comes our life, that's whenever we go to God. It's backwards. It shouldn't be whenever things are going good, you go to God. It shouldn't be when only things are going bad, you go to God. You go to God regardless, whether the relationship or your life, I wouldn't say the relationship, but your life is going good or bad. Because these past 2 weeks, I would even say this past month, have been very challenging for me. I've spoken to God in prayer. I've spoken to God, to him in anger, saying like, I'm frustrated, like, hey man, can you help me? But I'm still praying to him though. I'm still talking and communicating with him though. Could be doing it better for sure. And that's on me. But it was really upon my heart and my spirit to actually deliver this message, because we all have time, and there's nothing that you can say that can yield me to another thought process. Majority of us definitely have time. So just remember that. And then on top of that, God does so much for us. He does so much for us and stuff that we can't even see. And you can't spend 20 to 30 minutes in your Bible. Can't spend no time in prayer. Nothing. And you really have to reevaluate like what your relationship with him actually is, that you so claim that you love him. Because if I'm in a relationship with somebody, texting them good morning, I'm calling them up, seeing how they doing, going to spend time with them, doing things that they that they like, that's not morally wrong. I'm spending time with him, man. But we treat God, the creator of everything, just like a genie or a side dish. And it's very despicable of all of us. I'm guilty of it too. I think I would say all of us are guilty of it, because it even says, no one is good. Psalms chapter 14 verses 1. We've all done evil. There's no one good. So, but yeah, just remember that, and keep it in your thought process whenever it be like, hey, am I treating God right? Am I spending any time with him?